Hey, good morning. If you're just joining in, I'm going to give it some time. As people start trickling in. So yeah, let's just give it a few minutes. All right, I'm seeing some people in here, so I will kind of chat through what I'm looking at right now. If you're in the Discord, you know that I got pretty aggressive with PanW this morning and SMCI. Those are really, 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 really good ads, I believe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. PanW, really good opportunity here. I'm just pretty bullish on software in general. With respect to, there was some pretty bullish flow on IGV the other day. Generally, the sector has looked good since it bottomed a few weeks ago. I'm going to pull up the daily chart, show you what I'm looking at with respect to PanW. So you can see with PanW, pretty good structure here. You have this dip. This was like the software sale that you saw. I think it was probably a fund that sold a lot of software. And then you kind of see the sector rebounded, but you can see PanW specifically rebounded, had good earnings, sold off, and kind of has been trugging higher. And now we finally get this all-time high area here. It dips down, which makes sense. Volume wasn't that concerning there. You can see the volume wasn't pretty intense, but then you get this test of the 21 EMA, and now it's just gliding on the 8 EMA. So pretty good structure there. The question is, can it push through all-time highs this go around? And that is obviously what I'm looking to happen. I'm looking for that to happen. Taking a quick look at Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin, I added it in my morning note. Pretty good here, right? Like this volume wasn't tiny, but it wasn't huge. This pullback down to the 8 EMA makes sense. 12,000 is a huge level in my eyes. So, I expected 14 to reject. It's now kind of holding this level here. Bitcoin should do quite well, I think. Let's take a look at premiums really quick. Premiums are looking pretty bad for SPX trading. I'm still in some calls from pre-market, and I did a small ad once the market opened. So let's see how that pans out. I expect it to be not the best for SPX trading, but I am definitely biased towards the market going up. I'm definitely biased towards this kind of like I put in my morning note. I don't see us dipping below 42. Like that is literally, well, I shouldn't say this. I say this. I say a lot of things facetiously, but like it's not impossible, but it's highly improbable. Let's see if that is true once the day's over. But that is my pretty high, relatively high conviction bet there. So yeah, if you're not in the Discord, let me just kind of jot down what I added in the YouTube chat, just so you can see. Let's see how that comes through. I have too many characters. I'm just narrowing down the characters a little bit. All right, that should work. So if you're not in the Discord, that's what we added, or I should say I added this morning. Vive is really like has been one of the most frustrating stocks while it's consolidated, but it looks like it's ready. Um, I'm placing a decent sized bet that it's ready. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. Oscar triggered for me. That's what's showing up on my chart here. I'm gonna get out of there, and we'll show you here instead. So you can see Oscar looks pretty good. It's gapping up just 1%. Um, I actually don't trade this name that often, so I'm pretty reluctant to add anything here, but it looks pretty good. Honeywell looks really good, but I was looking at the let me see if I can find anything. I was looking at the option activity and there just wasn't I'm sorry, not the option. I was looking at the looking through the different strikes and contracts and there's just like nothing to trade. Actually, the 220s for October 17th might be good. I think I'm going to add some of those. So you can see Honeywell had this nice hammer. The sector generally is poised to do quite well. So I just added the October 17th 220 calls for 97 cents. And I'm going to add that. Oh, what is nuking? So AlphaPod account is having a tougher day today, led by the dip we're seeing in CrowdStrike. So not great there. Okay, so let's take a look. I don't know if I'm going to add Honeywell quite yet in my small account, but I am pretty inclined. Let's take a look at premiums there too. So Honeywell is one of those names where it's low expected move. Okay, it's getting some premiums here. You can see. So Honeywell, like the move is just so low and unexpected that if it moves in the direction you want, the returns you get are pretty significant. And so it makes for quite a good name to trade if you can time the move correctly. So definitely interested in Honeywell here. I added in my normal account, not a huge amount of size, but kind of a starter pack there. So premiums are looking quite bearish here. We could get some sell-off in SPX. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do drop below 42, but I do not expect that at all. So Apple looks really good if it can pop up through 255. This price action, like I said earlier, just going to be kind of sloppy. You can see tick is picking up a little bit, holding key level. Like this is actually a pretty good long. I wish premiums would show me that. They're not showing me that. But market still looks pretty good for the upside. Wow, bull just caught a nice bid. Look at that. It's a pretty decent sized position for me overall. And I love to see that. So let's see. I want to see if I can catch an SPX trade. I like this right here. Like I like this holding. It's just kind of a tough and choppy spot to add anything more substantial. But I do like this. If VIX can drop below 1630, and we can see premiums change a little bit, we can see a good bid, but or a good opportunity. But this put premium is definitely scary, to say the least. Yeah, okay. I think you can long this. I'm trying to load up a position. I would just long this. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that so recklessly. So we might fail here at 54. We can see premiums are still bearish. So even though I want to long this, it's not the perfect trade. So I'm going to let you know once I enter. SMCI looks really good, guys. If you added with me, congratulations. It should be a pretty good trade so far. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of the cash I have left in the small account, whether to trade SPX with it or to add Honeywell. Like SPX looks pretty good here, right? This is a good long. I'm just going to, man, Robinhood Legend is taking forever to load up. So I'm going to go through my Fidelity account. So, okay, if you're new to my trading style, the 8 EMA is a really big spot, right? So the 8 EMA is a really good indicator on the 10-minute for SPX. So you can see we're failing the 8 EMA here right now. But now we're popping through. I'm trying to add, man, my computer, yeah, I missed it. I still have, wow. Okay, so I missed it because I couldn't load up my terminal in time, but you can see that that was a very good opportunity. I still have my calls I bought pre-market. But yeah, that was such a easy long. Or not easy, but pretty clear long. Okay, so Apple's popping through here, pretty good spot. If you guys have questions, just please chat. I don't get a notification when you do chat. So I might see it late, but just, add any questions you have. So you can see VIX is dying quite a bit. What we just did is close yesterday's gap. So this might, maybe, given where premiums are at, maybe this is all we get on SPX and it drops down, but let's see. Apple looks really good here. Premiums still don't look, this is weird. So premiums still don't suggest this is going up, but if you look at price action, pretty good. VIX is dying too, which is actually a pretty good clue. NVIDIA getting a nice pump over 183. Okay. Man, Robinhood Legend is actually the worst. I can't do anything right now. NVIDIA here is very good. Honestly, just longing anything right here is good. So you see VIX coming down. It's a pretty good telltale sign. I think NVIDIA is going to have some pretty explosive action here. And SPX too. Like this is setting up to be pretty insane. So I'm going to add some NVIDIA weeklies. I just wish premiums, like premium SPY, just don't look great. So it's making me a little bit gun shy. But VIX looks really good. Okay, in terms, so with the small account, I have $350 of buying power left. I'm trying to figure out, is it better from a return perspective to add NVIDIA here or to add SPX calls? And I'm not sure yet. I'm hesitating a little bit because just this price action is still really silly. Whereas on NVIDIA, it looks pretty good. This level here is actually probably more important. So let's see what we get with that. So just waiting, yeah. Like SPX, very tough. You see the premiums are really telling a different story than what we're seeing across the tape. And like I said to start the day, this is going to be a harder, more difficult day to trade. Amazon, I just saw your note. Let me check out Amazon. Amazon, I mean, this is such a dog right now. You can see, okay, so a few things on Amazon. Like one, let's take a look at the weekly, right? Weekly, nothing about it. Like people who are trying to buy this are trying to buy the bottom. Okay, fair. Like good for you for trying. But it's not ready yet. I think honestly, I was kind of talking smack the other day, yesterday, when the ChatGPT news broke that like short Amazon, and I was kind of joking, but honestly, that ChatGPT news is pretty insane for the e-commerce business. So I think Amazon will continue to face some headwinds until it can get some news to change the story. But you can see here, it held 215 on this dip here, which actually, if you want to find a better level. I haven't really charted Amazon in a while. Yeah, so 217 is the right level. Let's see what happens here. But you can see that as Amazon really just tried to reclaim the 8 EMA and just failed, right? You can see the volume on these cells. So this was a pretty good candle here. Like you could go either way. And then you can see the seller. Like this candle is really bad because it came in with a lot of volume. And this one with higher than average volume. And then this one too, but you could say that's the dip buy. So really for Amazon, you're looking at 218 as your key level. See, call premiums are ticking up a little bit. So I'm definitely a little bit more eager to find an upside move here. And what's interesting is call premiums are kind of expensive for where we're at. So 52 holding, I kind of want to long this here a little early, but I'm gonna wait. Oh wow, Vive. Let's see. Put premium still really, really elevated here. Gonna wait to add calls, but I want to add a size position pretty soon. I think once I can get some better clues. And this call, if I look for clues, this call spike is definitely notable, but it's still quite tepid, I would say. You want to see puts come down a little bit. So let's see if we can find a good entry. Honestly, if we dip to 42, that would be a really good entry. Like really, really good. You can see VIX coming up. 1630 was that key level. VIX coming up from there so far. I added TSSI yesterday, and it's proving to be a pretty awful buy. But all it's doing really is coming down to this 8 EMA. Wow, see, Bull is hilarious. It's such an emotional stock. Just violent ups and downs. Okay, so let's see. I think we're getting close to finding a pretty good entry. Again, the market's going up, not down. Like pretty high confidence in that. Now, can I long? Yes. And do the put premiums here scare me? Yes. So let's see. But basically, I would love to long 66.42. And maybe we don't get it. Let's see if this holds. Nope, not seeing it. So what I'm looking at based on that level holding is our premium saying, okay, we can get a little change here. No, it's not ready yet. We can see VIX is still a little elevated. Tick isn't really improving, but let's see. 48 is a big level. Maybe we don't get down to 45 again. So what you're also going to notice is the 8 EMA is going to compress down. And then in an ideal world, wow, SoFi is getting nuked. In an ideal world, what happens is you have kind of the 8 EMA come down here, you have SPX around here, and then it pops through, retest, and then bounces. WMB is having a bit of a challenging day, but it's okay. It ran up like crazy. Snow as well. I don't know. If Snow can't hold the 8 EMA, I'm going to cut the position from yesterday. Apple looks so coiled. Oscar looks pretty good, actually. So let's see. We're gonna have to wait and look for the opportunity to long SPX. I think it comes. Basically, if we test 45, it's a good spot, but premiums just don't look good. So adding will be not without risk. I think, obviously that goes without saying, but Okay, you can see PNW coming back a bit. Oh. Bull, wow, Bull is just completely psychotic right now. Okay, maybe that was it on SPX. Let me see. Just have to be patient. This put premium is definitely a little bit scary here. So just going to be patient. Wait to see if we can find the best entry. You can see calls spiking up a little bit. So it might be ready. Just puts still don't look good. Since we're already up at 52, can just wait to see if we can break through 54 because that's where the 8 EMA is. So let's see what we get. I'm just going to wait a little bit more. You can see VIX coming down here. Okay, so let's see right here. 54 is going to be our big spot where we have the 8 EMA and a key level. Still not seeing puts come down, but I am liking, okay, they're curling a little bit here, and I am liking the call spike there. So, like adding at 48 would have been interesting, but I just don't see it yet. So it's okay missing a couple points, waiting for the right entry, especially trading options, right? Because if you enter early, you're just going to get theta crushed. Okay. Let's see, we're getting close. I want to wait to see the 8 EMA clear. There's no sense in going early here. No benefit of going early. Let's just wait to see. Okay, we're seeing puts spike down a little bit, right? And calls continue to go up. I think it's ready. I just want to wait a little bit because it's so choppy. So I might miss a few points. Okay, tick's looking good. VIX is looking good. Everything's looking good. Yeah, everything's looking good. Tick is looking good. VIX is looking good. VIX keeps going down. I'm just hesitating because I feel like I missed my entry a little bit. So I'm just waiting to see if it pulls back to retest the 8 EMA or through 660. Given the action's been kind of choppy, does not make sense. Oh, and if you guys hear, sorry, you're going to hear my sons, yeah. Hold on one second. Okay. Again, like everything should go up. I know it sounds silly. Oh, look at Vive. Okay, finally. Vive is like a pretty special one in my opinion. We'll see how that materializes, but if this is finally ready, which again, I've tried trading this breakout and failure a couple times, but if it's ready, it should be a explosive, pretty explosive move. So this puts are not making me feel warm and fuzzy about SPX right here. It just something's not adding up. It's not adding up. Okay, you can see why, like, yeah, it didn't make sense to chase that. We're actually failing the 8 EMA on the 10-minute candle. Oh, did we clear? Okay, we closed above. Let me take a premium, still not seeing it, but you can see why we didn't add. This is actually interesting to add here. So we closed above the 8 EMA. It's good to add. I'm adding here. Let's see if I get filled. So I added the 75 Cs for 320. Okay, this is ready. This is ready. Premium still don't suggest it, but so I'll tell you what my clue was, and we'll see if it's right or not. Here, I'll post it here too. Added 6675C for 320. You can. So here's the clue. Whether it's right or wrong, we can go back and see if I was right or wrong. This close above a key level and close above the 8 EMA was my clue. Okay. Whether that's right or wrong, we'll find out soon enough. Since I'm streaming too, let me post it on X. All right, so even though I added, it's not like a full port situation. We are still in kind of shaky water, I would say. Just given price action is pretty good. And this is honestly a chop zone, so I'm hoping that this doesn't continue. My expectation is this candle here closing right above the 8 EMA with my, let's just call it bias towards the upside, with my understanding that very limited downside below 42. All those combined make me decently confident that this is going to be a pretty good trade to the upside. Now, it's a chop zone. It can totally fail. That is allowed. What's not allowed is this rocket position I added yesterday is just creating a giant crater in my portfolio. So let's see. I'm going to give it a little time. And then Snow 2 just touched the 8 EMA. And it's actually failing the 8 EMA. Just some time. I think today's a trickier day, but I do think it's one that you can kind of be saved. Like, I think any kind of downside move will be absorbed. I really think today is an easy day. Snow is not doing great. Okay, so now we are failing this level. Let's see. I don't buy it yet. But again, that was kind of a dangerous level to add into with the premium. So let's see. Oh man. Okay, so CrowdStrike is coming back to test the 8 EMA. Honestly, not a big deal. Question is, did I add SPX a little early? I will know more in about 4 minutes, depending on where that candle closes. So let's see. I'm just going to wait to see. You have 4 minutes left in this candle. 52 should hold. Assuming 52 holds, we just need to get out of this chop zone. And just to be clear, what can happen is we just chop for the next hour, and you completely waste your day and your theta just watching this. So just be mindful of that. Definitely something that is possible here. VIX creeping up. Premium still look pretty bad. So let's see. Maybe that was a bit too eager of an entry. What I'd like to see is for VIX to fail this 1630 level. Anything going down right now, like again, I definitely have an extreme bias here, but BRKB just triggered for me. Hold on, let's see. This might be a pretty good one. Just going to take a quick look at the BRKB. premiums. Nice put sale came in, right? So we can see a put sale came in there. Like I want to add it, but let me just keep watching it. So taking a look at premiums, they still don't look good. So again, maybe opportunistic add on my part, but I'm still pretty confident we push through 60 and shoot up to 75. That is my bet. Does it perfectly align with what we're seeing on the tape? No. But if you're new to my trading style, I mix technicals with bias. And usually the bias is right. Sometimes it's wrong. NVIDIA looks really good here. I might take an extreme lotto size position in NVIDIA at like a 195 strike for weekly. So pretty slow here. NVIDIA, I think, is going to go insane mode pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, maybe I don't add something so ridiculous in terms of strike, but 187.5s, pretty good. Yeah. It's running away from me. Okay, let's see if that gets filled. Okay, that NVIDIA trade is running away from me. I'm not getting filled yet. Let's see if it comes down. No, it's not going to come down. Let me adjust the position I'm trying to add. Okay, I added NVIDIA weekly 190s for 124. Okay, so we're starting to see SPX kind of balance out a little bit, seeing premiums. Okay, so now it's looking like how I want. We should see the upside move, I think, pretty soon. Okay, SPX is definitely moving up. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is looking really nice right now. Wow. Okay, so SPX is definitely still struggling a little bit. You can see it failed the 8 EMA here. Just kind of stuck in this range. You might hear my kid in the background. He's getting ready for school. So let's see. Tick is now looking pretty weak here. We have premiums that haven't fully looked better, but not recovered yet. But we have NVIDIA. We're going to see, like I put in my morning note, we're going to see random big moves on names where funds are making sure that they show their clients they have positions in. Now calls are dropping a little bit. So let's see. Not looking really good, I must say. But we know there's some whippy action to expect. There you go, right? So let's see. Snowflake really weak. I'm probably gonna have to cut this. Yeah, market does not look good. So those calls, this is kind of a topping area, right? So you can see that just the sellers are in control. They keep pushing this down. We're now kind of testing this key level. Based on the way this price action is going, it looks like it could fail. And if it does fail, my initial thought could be wrong, right? We get to 42 and then we just burn down to 27. Definitely possible. I think right now it's kind of tough to say. I'm still, again, biased to the upside. I'm very willing to change that stance if something shows me I need to. But I'm it's hard to fully believe anything at this point given quarter end. There's just a lot of messing around here. And I guess all the fun SoFi. Look at SoFi. It's just getting completely tossed right now. Okay, yeah, we can see SPX failing here. I am still going to do one more ad at 42. It's a really good spot from a risk reward perspective, but the market, I will obviously admit, doesn't look perfect right now. Okay, so we're gonna get that dip to 142. Again, it's a really good spot to consider adding. I know it's a bit scary here, but um, yeah, it is scary because premiums are not supporting this is gonna bounce. Impression just doesn't look good. But regardless, I'm still gonna add there. Okay, I'm pretty much tripling, quadrupling down on my 75 Cs at 135. It can fail, but but yeah, I mean any trade can fail. This one doesn't look great, right? So just be clear on that. Doesn't look super good, but I really like this spot. Now, will it hold or not? I don't know. I think it provides incredible support, but you can see premiums are just not showing it yet. So that's why today it's not like a great day to size up. You can see tick is very low. Like everything just looks bad, I would say. Everything looks bad. Maybe I put it in the chat too. You can see, okay, so you can see, although you can see, so if you were in the chat earlier this morning, I was ideally looking for 42 to be tested before I longed. Definitely got a little eager early. Now, just because it's holding here doesn't mean it's going to continue to hold as support, right? Like, obviously. I'm adding a Lotto 6685C for 70 cents. So now the question is, right, does this hold? We got the bounce, right? Pretty expected bounce, but we're not seeing anything in call premiums. So what I'm gonna guess is that this doesn't just straight V up to all-time highs, right? I'm gonna guess this bounce we got is just shorts covering at the right spot, and we may have a hard time and a little bit, but let's see what we get. Right, so there you're seeing it. We got a normal bounce, but that bounce is kind of getting faded away because we didn't really see anything. We didn't see the bounce in tick, we didn't see the bounce in VIX, and we didn't see the bounce in premiums. If anything, premiums are saying this is going to go down. But let's see. I'm again can't trade big size here, and you have to be okay with the decent drawdown trading 0DTE SPX here. CrowdStrike looks like it's coming back. Let's see if we can get a nice bid. Oh, VRT looks really good. Okay, so look again, this bounce, I don't think know how sustainable it is, to be honest. I mean, it was like a very obvious place to buy, whether you're short, you're covering, and so you're buying there to cover your position because you know it's hard to push through below 42. But like I said in my morning note, pretty low probability. I don't want to say absolutes, but like pretty zero, near zero chance we drop below 42. Now, if we do drop below 42, look out below. Okay, so now we gotta see. So now you gotta see what impatience costs you, right? I added early, but then you also got to see what a plan gets you. It's like, okay, I added early like a noob, but I didn't I didn't blow my load on one trade, and I just doubled down here. For my small account, unfortunately, I did blow my load. I only had one trade available, and I kind of screwed it up a little bit. But again, there's no reason to be bearish here. 66.42 is the low. Okay, so that ad very good so far. Not really sure if we're gonna see it sustain. We could just get back into chop zone. Like I said, 42 is the likely the low. See if it can sustain. Oh man, circle is such a bummer. I thought it looked like it wanted to rip. It had some really insane volume pre-market, and now it's kind of getting. And then Honeywell, I'm glad I didn't add to the small account there. Rocket, definitely burning a hole in my pocket. I'm not sure what's going on. Setup was pretty good. Okay, so how many people? 30 people on stream. Wow. Welcome everybody. 26, 23 now. So you could see, right, like my morning plan, if you read it on X, or if you're in the Discord, you read it on the Discord. 66.42, very high probability it's the low. Impatience cost me a little bit by adding early, but now you can see that I'm not some crazy guy who has no idea what he's talking about. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you added and didn't get too scared. Now I might be celebrating too soon because we could get crushed here at 66.60. Okay. So if you're in and you add it at 35, you can take your profits. pretty good profits, right? Or you can ride it till Valhalla with me. All right, I would love some engagement in the YouTube stream chat. So somebody chat something. Did you add it? What's your average? Are you happy? Do you have questions? Give me some kind of engagement. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a little discouraged from streaming on here because I get a lot more. Nice, great. So So let's see, right? We're just kind of stuck in this range still. If you sized up on that and you have enough profits where you can, let's see what they're trading at now, and you can, right? So you doubled on those. You can sell half for 100% and let the rest ride for free, right? I'm looking for 75, right? I'm looking for 75 to hit. I don't know if we get it. Look, at premiums look really bad, really, 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 really bad. So this might just fail. You're up 100%. You can take your profits, um, but I am looking for something more significant here. Premiums don't suggest it yet, right? Premiums say no, this is going to fall down and fail. But I mix my bias with. Hey guys, thank you for engaging. This is what I just want to see who's out there, what questions you guys have. If you're not in the Discord and you have questions, like Steven, that's a great question that you asked. I stream 2 to 3 times a week in the Discord, and then if I'm not streaming, I just spam what I call my trader chat. I just spam what's called trader chat with just a similar stream of consciousness that is very, very similar. So yeah, premiums. I don't know, but I would say the 75Cs are still in critical risk. Okay, so Nvidia is just moving. That ad was really nice. I'm really upset because my small account ran out of buying power to catch that, but my normal accounts didn't. Um, but that's tough. SMCI, look at SMCI here. Based on how things are moving, I expect SMCI to break through 50 this week. I know it's a bit ambitious. I wouldn't bet your life savings on that, but I do see that happening. And then let's look at TSSI. I was kind of complaining about it earlier because I added it. You could see it just tested once this loads. You can see it tested the 8 EMA for the most part, and it is going to go higher. Pretty high confidence there. Okay, so back to SPX, you can see not a straight shot up. You can see that premiums are basically saying this move is fake. It doesn't SPX does not deserve to go up, and we should nuke down. That might be true. Okay, the 75Cs are still in critical risk. Okay, based on premiums, but based on price action here, assuming this holds right around here, and based on VIX, based on tick, like it should be good. But premiums say otherwise, so we'll have to see. And because I'm not trading a huge amount of size, I'm okay with the ups and downs and drawdown. I'm looking for my trade, which again, perfect bounce here. Based on premiums, it would suggest that this kind of gets stuck here. That's what premiums suggest right now. But my bias, which again, I like don't trade bias with heavy size. I'm not, so people in the Discord know when I have a bias and I'm very confident in it, I get very annoying. That this is not one of those times. Um, but for the upside, like here's a perfect dip down here, and then I want to see something like this. This is what I want to see. I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know if I'll get it, but that's what I want to see. Look at Tick, right? You had this kind of like slow, methodical sell down. People, I don't know, like make up whatever thesis you want, repositioning, offloading to get cash to buy into whatever new position for the quarter. I don't know. Like make up your hypothesis. Doesn't really matter. But then you see Tick is now kind of recalibrating. It's finding an uptrend, and you're kind of seeing this kind of bottom out and push through here. Right? So look, you're seeing SPX. I'll leave my silly drawing up there. You're seeing SPX touched right at the 8, right? And it's pushing up. Like my bias so far is intact and working quite well. So let's see. Let's see what we got. See if this continues up. Let me take a quick look at premiums. Okay, not great to be frank. Not great. Like this probably like there's a okay, if I didn't have my bias, right, and I didn't have nose quarter end, let's assume it wasn't quarter end, and let's assume I didn't have my bias overlaying on this. Um, I would expect us to push up to 60 and then tank down and drop below 42. That would be my guess based on these premiums. But one thing most people don't know who trade premiums, and let's say puts weren't climbing, okay? Let's say puts weren't climbing here and it was just calls dropping. What most people don't know is if you look at SPX, 50 is a huge gamma zone. 50 is a huge gex zone. Let's pull up SPX on here so I can use this as an educational session while we wait for. So at the morning, you could see 6650 was a huge positive gamma zone. What that means is that dealers basically want to sell any move above 6650, okay, because of how they're positioned with their options exposure. All right. Now, what do you think happens? What do you think happens when we go above 6650 and we have to rip higher and what I would say squeeze higher? What do you sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. What do you think happens? Well, if they have to update what's called their delta exposure. And so what they have to do is they have to sell calls in order to adjust their position. Okay. I don't know if that's happening yet, like in this case, because puts are climbing too. But if we're at a key gamma node and calls are dropping, most people who trade premiums and see that, they just react and say, oh no, market's going to go down. But that's not necessarily true here. So what I would want to see is I'd want to see, I don't care about calls right now. Basically, if it drops, it's fine. If it goes up, it's great. What I want to see is puts come down a little bit. Banks going down. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with like SoFi, for example, Rocket. All the rate sensitive stuff is just getting hosed. Let's see where TLT is at. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. They did have a pretty decent run. I'm trying to figure out. I can't think of a reason why. So those Nvidia call in Nvidia calls, if you added with me, are doing okay, up 20%. I still don't see a clear move up from premiums. Well, I'm gonna reposition. I'm gonna mute. I'll be right back. Just give me a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back. SPX. All right. So look again, based on premiums, I would say specifically the puts. I'm cautious of believing this too much yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get this pop to 60 little fade, and then what you want to see, and then what you want to see at the same time is you want to see puts start to curl down. Okay, you want to see puts start to curl down through our little. Maybe we just kind of pop through, and it's a no-brainer. Okay, so look, we're getting that. We're getting that. Oh, Jordan, I didn't realize you could hear him. I thought I muted it. Yeah, we're okay. So we're getting this, right? We're getting this resistance here. We're getting the resistance here that we expected. If you're just joining the stream, you can kind of see what I charted out. I expected us to dip, which we dipped. We got the bounce, and okay, my timing is weird, right? But we are now bouncing up, and now we're failing right where I thought at 60. So the question is, can this sustain through? And if you look at premiums, and what did I say earlier? What I said earlier is, if this is going to sustain, I expected 60 to fail a little bit. And what I want to see to confirm it is I want to see puts come down. I want to see puts come down. That doesn't count as puts coming down, but it's not a bad sign, right? Like this little itty bitty curl is not a bad sign, but you can see it's not ready yet, right? Like you can see SPX is coming down a little bit. So, right, it's okay if this fails here. We anticipated it. It is part of the plan, right? It is part of the plan. Does that mean we're gonna shoot up to 71? I don't know. there's two paths, right? Like based on premiums right now, unless we get some reprieve on puts, we're going to get the scenario I talked about here, like that, right? We're going to get that scenario. So let's see what we can get here. We just kind of have to sit and wait. Let's see if snow is recovering at all. I really don't want to cut it, but I might have to. I added snow yesterday. I do think software is going to find a pretty insane bid, which is why most of my ads today in the last week have been in software. So Vive is one where if you can nail the timing, you will make a lot of money, a lot of money on the 310 October seas. And the reason why is look at this insane weekly consolidation. Insane, right? Couldn't even fill the gap, right? Tried here. Let me just all Vive did on any major dip was just drop down to the gaps low and then just push higher, right? Unfilled gaps are extremely bullish. I actually don't know if that's true, but it is finding a lot of support. So again, this is an annoying name. I thought it was going to break out over here and it failed. Now I think it's ready. And the reason I think it's ready, let me just see if I'm not missing anything on SPX. Okay. Why do I think it's ready? Well, one, I just talked about software. And then two is you can kind of see this volume picking back up on this breakout. But again, it's got me before. You can see this breakout here had no volume, right? And it was like into earnings. And then you could see this move did have some volume to it, but then this sell came in. So let's see. It's a tricky one. But again, if you can nail the move, it can provide a pretty substantial return. If you look at, because it's at all-time highs, if you look at Fib 305 to, so like 326 is probably your target. Whether we get there before October or not, October 17th is obviously up for question. Okay, if we look at premiums now, let's focus back on SPX. We can see we're just kind of hovering here. Nothing of note. And you can see tick is now failing a little bit. So I don't know. I'm not super confident we're going to push out of this range quite yet. I'm not that confident we will. Right? And like I'm just not seeing it yet. I think the reasons why I could see it happening is one, again, I mentioned my bias 5,000 times before. Two is we are now, like, assuming the gamma hasn't changed too much from 6650, we should just find, assuming the gamma has changed from 6650, we should find some support here as this call selling took place. But I just put premiums spike. I just don't feel great about it. I do not feel good about it at all. And now you're seeing tick come down. If VIX can drop down, maybe it wants to test 1574. Most people don't like technical analysis with VIX, but if you've been in my Discord long enough, you know how beneficial VIX can be. Wise words, Jordan. FSLR has been struggling to like really clear through this breakout area. So definitely keeping my eye on it. I still have some of a position there. Rocket 2 is pretty close to me cutting it. Crowd, I have no concern about. This should pop to 513 pretty soon. Bull is very annoying, but it kind of trades like a crazy person. And you can see on Friday it had dropped down, test the 8 EMA and held up. So I don't know, maybe it needs to consolidate a little bit here. Okay, you can see Honeywell's coming in a little bit. Let's check if it has any. Oh, actually, while I'm doing this, you can see puts it curling down a little bit, calls it curling up a little bit. So we just want to continue to watch that. Honeywell looks good. So I didn't add huge size, but you know this can the 220s that I added can be like a 10 bagger, right? Like that's the type of opportunity. It's also a very easy shot to zero. So the NVIDIA calls, if you added, are up 30%. Okay, I don't know how much longer I can hold Rocket for without just really, especially with the banks going down. I don't know what's going on with these rate sensitive names. What I would like to see before I cut, like what we see with Rocket is it comes up and closes above the EMAs, and this is just kind of a look below and fail of that. But let's see. Okay, like I said with SPX, we're not out of the woods, and you can kind of see what's happening, right? So you can see we did have that. We had that bounce here. Oops. You can see we had that bounce here at the 8 EMA. We had this move up, and now this failure, right? So we talked about that being pretty plausible. So the question is, if we can bounce here, I was hoping we could see puts come down a little bit, but we're not seeing it. So my guess as now is the calls that I'm still in, right? I'm still fully in the calls. They are gonna have some trials and tribulations ahead. That's my expectation. You have VIX coming up a little bit, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. We know, like, forget premiums. If we just look at SPX, it's actually quite bullish, right? So we had this test of what I would say was the low. We had this violent shoot up, and then we know we had to test 60, and we just dropped down to the next level and bounced pretty violently off, and it's holding for now. So this can be what we need to push up. But because I know that premiums aren't looking perfect, I'm not overly confident in that yet. So I want to see puts come down, and we're seeing it on Tide here. So maybe we can see it on SpyNet. Maybe we can see it. So here you go. Here's your bounce at the key level. You have your EMAs there holding support. Now, is that what we needed, right? Is that what we needed to push through 60? And then if we push through 60, 71 comes very fast. 77 will face heavy resistance in defending. But if we could push through 77, we're going to squeeze up to 6,700 today. That's a big if, right? Big if. But if we can, we should see something like this, like this, like this, and then like I don't know what just happened there, but you get the point, right? I don't know how that's possible. Let me draw it on here. So here I'll draw the bull case and the bear case. Right, the bull case is this bounces and actually pushes through here. That's your bull case. And I think what you're seeing is your bear case kind of playing out. Okay, that's your bull and bear case. Again, we're not seeing it yet in puts. Not seeing it yet in puts. So we're just kind of this chop zone, which if you joined at the beginning of the stream, I mentioned is very possible, right? So VIX, all right, so if you want to learn how to trade VIX and technicals, here's a really good example. This will pop from here, is my guess, right? So you have 66.52 key level, you have VIX at 1630, you can see it just rejected there, which will provide, assuming VIX doesn't push through 1630, it's a good spot to try and long for a scalp, right? Look at premiums. I mean, they're really bad right now, really, really bad. Okay, sorry, I was chatting in Discord. So you can see the bear case is kind of pushing through. We didn't get that bounce that I expected, and VIX is now pushing through 1630. Really, the name of the game today has been put premiums on SPY. This is just chop zone 2, though. I wouldn't worry about it. If you're okay sizing to 0 and stomaching some drawdown, I wouldn't worry too much about this dip. We're just kind of in this chop zone. So yeah, premiums don't look good still, pretty bad. Makes me, we could drop down to 42 again. And maybe this time, right? Like bulls defended, couldn't push through 60. Really this zone here is kind of your dead man zone where it's like, is there anything to do? No. Still looking for any clues on SPY put premiums. See, tick is getting weak here, looking like we're failing 48. I do, for what it's worth, expect a pretty good bounce from 48 here. No, we didn't get the bounce, so let's see. Yeah, bear case is okay, and you see VIX above 1630, pushing up. Tick definitely weak. Again, this isn't a run for the hills scenario. It's just we're seeing some choppy, noisy action due to the quarter end, which is again why I said to size down earlier in my morning note. Obviously, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens, so I don't really have much to talk through. So we just gotta wait. If we're stuck in this range for much longer, I may just end the stream. But I wanna show you guys when you can see this, like, predict it coming out of this range area, because hold on, hold on. Okay, so you can see, like, we didn't get a violent bounce off 48, but you can see 48's holding quite well. VIX is now retreating a little bit, just still choppy zone. If you're not in a position yet, good for, like, just stay out. Basically, at this point, you don't really need to do anything until we can push through here or below there, right? And then, if we do, if we do, it's not guaranteed. Just, if we fail below 42, you short it. What you can get is this pretty violent look below and fail. So that's also a scenario. Today's just inherently going to be tricky. Okay, VIX coming up a little bit. Just noisy. Premiums look really bad. Really, the premiums suggest we're setting up for a pretty violent downside move. I don't buy it yet, but just be aware that that is definitely within the cards. All right, so let's see. Let's see what happens with SPX. Kind of just sitting and waiting. I'm not cutting my calls. I didn't sell for 2x on those ads at the bottom, and I'm not cutting them down. Going to be down, I don't know, 50, 60%. These ones I'm pretty much going to ride out to see what we get. But it's not without risk here. Like, market looks pretty weak. We have VIX climbing up. But again, it's kind of like this quarterly shenanigans. But this fail here is pretty bad, right? This fail here is pretty bad. And look at put premiums. They're just going insane, and we're seeing tide converge. Like, this is gonna go lower. The question is how much. VIX pushing up, tide looking bearish, SpyNet looking bearish. Okay, you can see we're going to retest 42, and this can fail, but that might set up our room for upside. But yeah, definitely not great here. Hold on one second. All right. So 42 is holding still. Let's see what happens. It's going to be really hard to get below 42. Really hard to get below 42, just based on a few things, but one of them being the GEX profile too. But I would say premiums are suggesting that this should nuke down. But based on my pre-market note, what I'm seeing, it's going to be really, 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 really hard to get below 42. So again, basically in this range here is just chop zone. This is just death zone. And shame on me for adding calls in the death zone, but it is what it is. Looking, right, is this bounce going to be the one where we see puts drop down and we get this reversal? You want to see him come down a little bit. Right? So if we can see puts continue down and calls continue up, we can finally get the move I'm looking for. Finally. But let's see. Right? So 42 again, very hard to get below. If you read my morning note, you saw that, you know that. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but just improbable. Pin W failing a little bit. Honestly, not worried at all. Position. This is fine. Not the best, cleanest entry, but for the most part, pretty good about it. Okay, VIX is coming down. Puts aren't coming down yet, so I don't know. This might fail again. What you want to see really is this come down here. I really don't care about calls right now, except I would love a call spike to help convince me that we're moving up. We'll see if we get it. So now, pretty violent failure of 48. Let's see what's going on with Vive. All I want is for Vive to pop 10%. That's it. Okay, we're getting some good premiums on Vive. Okay, this is good. Finally. Okay, so Vive should be pretty good. I may even want to add commons on this and just maybe I take the loss on Rocket, unfortunately. I'm usually not too shy cutting losers. Rocket is fine. I don't like cutting stock intraday because it's a pretty nasty loss. Too bad. I think Vive is ready for its breakout. Obviously, you can't tell just from one trade. But it really doesn't get that much flow, right? So this is actually quite material. Let's see what's going on with crowd. Anything interesting? Tem. So what I'm trying to figure out now is I have a stock account that I post publicly. I'm trying to see if I want to trade out of anything to add V. I think I'm gonna trade out of EBS for a 5% gain. Okay, and then okay, wow, what a rejection on SPX there while I was looking at other stuff. And you can see that puts just really haven't moved down yet. If anything, they're moving up. Let's look at SPY daily. So really what we're doing is we're holding right above the 8 EMA. Just does not look good at all. Vive looks good. That 0.5% drop is actually a gift. You can see Vive is just coming back to retest this breakout level. Pretty bad tick. If 42 gives, which it looks like it wants to, if it gives, basically what we want to see is either just a quick bounce up or a bounce back, a drop to 33. And in order for the market to still look good, we want 27 to hold. Okay, I'm going to add some VEEV shares on this back test of support. Okay, I put in a limit order. It's not filling me yet. Let me see if I need to update it. I'm just going to do market order. What am I? Yeah. So I added VEEV. My computer is freezing right now, so give me a second to post it. Wow. Okay. So this is kind of interesting here. You're getting call spike right at this key level here of right around 45, I guess, 42, 45. So you're getting this big call spike on SPY net, and you're getting this big call dump on market tide. If you follow me long enough, you know that market tide is just a complementary, not a substitute. It's a complement. It's a complement to analysis, not a substitute. It is not the primary indicator. So let's see if this plays out, right? So we still need, in order to get SPY up, we need puts to come down a little bit. Obviously, here what we're seeing on market tide is definitely a bit concerning. Once we had this convergence, we can see the weakness here in SPX. But tide is not the best indicator for trading 0DTE SPX. I don't care what you've heard elsewhere. That they are wrong. Whoever is telling you that is wrong. We get this call spike. If we can match it with the put dump, we should get the move I've been looking for all day. But right now, SPX notably looks quite weak. You know what also looks quite annoyingly weak is Tesla. Let's see if it can hold here. Maybe it tests the 8 EMA. VIX screaming. VIX is screaming right now. if I look at this objectively, it looks like it wants to nuke low 42. I still feel, although with obviously less confidence, every time we test it, kind of chips away at that. That 42 is the low. So I think, bidding 42 is still not bad, but definitely not as good as bidding it back here where we got this bounce. We're still in this kind of death chop zone. All right, you guys got to give me like 2 minutes and I'll be back. If you leave, go ahead. I hope you enjoyed it and come back for future streaming all week. But I'll be back in 5 minutes. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Looks like a few people left. Tan, are you still here? I'll answer your question if you're still here. So we did get the spike, right? Remember I told you market tide doesn't matter. Now you see market tide is useless. Oh, I shouldn't say useless. It's a supplementary, complementary, whatever. Anyway, just use it in tandem with SPY net. But SPY net is what you need to look at, is the focus. And look, we're seeing SPX come up. Pretty good candle here. This is just still in your chop zone. What you might see here is 1630 bounce up on VIX. That VVAD turning out to be pretty decent. Doesn't make up for that terrible rocket loss. So you see VIX kind of popped up a little bit here. So now we're seeing calls curl down again. Maybe that's all we got. All right, finally. Okay. So you see puts are now coming down. This should set up the move for higher. There you go. There you go. Finally. Okay. So you saw how puts came down. Finally, that's what we were waiting for. This should be a sustained move higher. This should be the move we've been looking for. I'm pretty sure of it. Right. I've been talking about this all day. Looking for puts to come down. We're finally seeing it bend. This should be the move higher. Seeing VIX fail. Any chop here, like I'm pretty confident now that we go higher. Okay. So I'm gonna add a bit of a shit post on SPX or on X now. Don't, if you're on the stream, don't actually full port, but 66.75 for 185. Very good spot here. This will go higher. We are still in the chop zone, right? Like we are still in this chop zone here. But what I was looking for all morning was puts to come down. Assuming this continues, we should see this materialize into a pretty substantial move up, especially because sellers could not follow through here below like 42. They couldn't even get close. Right, so 54 should hold here, assuming 54 or at least 52 holds. Now what we should see is something like we should see this pop through pretty quickly. Now, okay, this tick is definitely something to keep note of, but again, what I was looking for is we're seeing it kind of reverse a little bit here, but I wouldn't worry too much. What happened? I went to Whole Foods. Okay, so we're starting to see that little dip down here, pump up. We should see this happen, but okay, here's the risk, right? This put decline that I was looking for is kind of reversed a little bit, but you see calls pumping up. Okay, hold on, I'll be right Sorry, I was on mute. Not loving up that put spike there, but still thinking of even adding more on my end. If this can hold right here, pretty good. Ethan, yeah, a couple people that I know that trade are in path pretty heavy right now. Pretty happy about that, but pretty good move. It looks like it got faded down a little bit, but pretty good. So even though I added big size, I will say I'm a little nervous about that those puts spiking up. So for this big size ad, I am gonna have a stop on here, right? Just want 52 to hold. As long as 52 holds, I feel pretty good about those ads. If 52 doesn't hold, then I don't feel good about them. Okay, right. So far this is looking good. Put's still not giving me the most confidence, right? So I was hoping that that trend would continue if puts getting sold off. VIX is coming up a little bit. If you look at the 5 minute, it looks pretty good, just launchpad type scenario. Still stuck in this range. Look at tick, guys. You see tick improving. Tick over here is improving. Not seeing this confirmed yet in premium, just FYI. So it might still chop around. If anything, these calls dumping, not giving me the most confidence. See, a violent reversal obviously would be quite sad. And let me make sure. Yeah. Okay, those contracts are now up to 2. Now this should continue, right? So we have this call spike. Let's see. We really need puts to come down and calls to come up. Looks good though. VIX at 1630. We need VIX at 1630 to fail. Okay, so now I don't know. Maybe you see why I sized up. Okay, I trimmed some at 320. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm trimming a little bit more at 420. I'm gonna let the rest ride. You guys like that? Can I get some commentary in the stream with the few people that are still here? Give me something. Show me that you made an ungodly amount of money on that. Okay, so I don't know if I said it in here, but in my Discord, I've been alerting a bunch of exits, right? So I'm out of over half the position now. All right, so look, this is why you have to sell on pops. You have to sell on pops. It's frankly quite irresponsible not to sell on pops, and you are greedy and you deserve to lose money. Um, this is why, right? This is a look above and fail, nice exit liquidity for us. I still have half my contracts, right? So ideally they don't go down, and ideally I can get my full move on them. But this is why you have to sell on pops. I'm still here. I'm just chatting in Discord. So really good exit on half the position up there. I still have half, so which maybe signals to you I'm still expecting more, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. Just was a great trade for what it was. Okay, I actually realized I I have to jump from the stream. 2.5 hour stream. I hope you guys liked it. If you're not in the Discord, this is what you get. I'm gonna stream on YouTube for the whole week, so you continue to get what you see. But my whole point of doing this is I feel good about the quote unquote product that I'm selling in Discord. I feel like I give pretty good guidance and advice and knowledge about the market. So if you like it and you want this more consistently, then consider joining the Discord. Otherwise, hopefully you can join the infrequent times I do stream. But I'll be doing it every day this week. And thanks, guys, for joining. I'm really glad we caught that move at the end, so you can kind of see where the magic is. But thanks, guys, and we'll talk soon.